It started initially as a conversation about what could we do if we wanted to develop our student athletes as leaders. If we had to think about what do we want to do to make sure our student athletes take advantage of their potential, their leadership potential, the influence and impact that they can have while Tennessee student athletes, what would that look like? And we started looking at our emerging leaders. So as student athletes, oftentimes our young leaders look at leadership as a title or a position because that's what sport does. And what we wanted to do is redefine that and reframe that and have our student athletes understand the influence that they could have through sport, but also beyond sport, and try to figure out what that might look like. We've had 5 cohorts go through Vol Leaders at this point, and what we haven't really kind of realized quite yet is how the Vol Leaders Academy is going to influence our student athletes 10, 20 years from now. And I think that's going to be probably one of the most special things is for us to stay in contact with our student athlete alums, with our Vol Leader alums, and understand and talk to them about how it's influenced their journey.
I first heard about the Vol Leaders Academy. We had a meeting in this boardroom, and it was all the athletes, they were interested in or that coaches had recommended, and they kind of just told us what their goal was, what the program was, and how they got started and all the effort that has been put into it, and I just thought it was a really cool opportunity.
When I first heard about Vol Leaders, it was from Garrett Stallings. He was a starting pitcher for us. He was a huge mentor. Just the way I seen Garrett live his life, it's like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do what he's doing, and he was telling me at first too how he was not so sure about the program, but as it kept going along, it was really the best thing he's done at UT. And he told me, he was like, it's a great place to learn leadership and it's really getting to know yourself better. And at first I was kind of scared because I'm a kind of shy person. I don't like to tell things about myself that some people don't know. So when I heard of it, I was kind of scared. And then as the process went along, I started to learn more about it. I was on the phone with him every week, just talking to him, like, what should I expect? What should I do? And he was like, just go in there and just be yourself.
I didn't think I'd ever have the impact I've had on this university, and then going to Ecuador and helping others and seeing that I can have a voice and have an image that people can look up to and be inspired. But it's really, truly taught me that even the smallest act of kindness can go a long way in this world.
It was just crazy how everything connected at the right time. Went through a hard freshman year, and then all of a sudden this class comes into my life and just changes everything and makes me realize what my worth is and the platform I have as a student athlete, not only within my team, but outside and in the community.
I never saw myself as a leader, and I think I am one now. I never trusted myself talking English, just because it's not my first language. But it's just amazing what this group of people did for me.
When I first came to campus, I was very shy, and throughout this program I've learned that it's okay to speak. It's okay to speak your mind. It's it's good to say what's in your mind. People want to know. People are interested in what I have to say. So I think that's really helped me throughout this program to know to open up and come out that shelter and just growing as a person.
And so it's learning so much about yourself and being able to translate that into not just on your team, but kind of into the community. Especially going abroad and stuff like that, you have a lot of barriers. You have language barriers, there's cultural differences, you have all these different types of things that are supposed to stand in your way of being able to communicate with others and to lead and to be led by others. Especially my time in Ecuador, we saw so many kids that didn't speak our language, but we were able to connect with them simply because of who we were. And I think Vol Leaders really gets down and gets you to find out your core beliefs and who you truly are deep down as a person. And I think that, to me, has been the biggest way that I've grown in college, is figuring out, who I am, what kind of traits I have, how I can communicate with others, and how to love others too.
Vol Leaders is so special because of the people. You are genuinely surrounded by 20 people who absolutely love you, and that is such an overwhelming feeling. I wholeheartedly love everyone in that class, and I know that there are so many great athletes in that room as well as great people, and it really makes me proud to be a Tennessee Lady Vol and a Vol Leader.
Joe and Dr. Ash and Caitlin, they all did a really good job of really just showing us, what true leadership is. And it's not just the guys who are the oldest, it's not the guys who perform the best, but it's the guys who are very consistent. It's the people who are very consistent in all aspects, on the floor and off the floor.
As athletes, we have a platform, but as athletes together, we have an even bigger platform. And so we're able to reach even more people with what we've learned through Vol Leaders and what we've learned through what sport can do. We can use those sports to do something so much more than just winning, is that we can help other people and we can grow our communities and we can grow each other and become better people through that effort in our sport. It really just brings a bigger meaning to what we're doing here.
I think the biggest thing that we're taking from this experience that we're going to bring back home with us is that me, you, and everybody can really change the world, and it's all about our mentality and how we go about things. When we go about things together with unity and with a mindset that we can get it done, then it's going to get done, because that's what's happened here, and that's what can happen all over the world if we so choose.
I didn't expect to have the experience I did, have it mean so much to me. This year, I grew so much more than I ever have in my life. The next step for me is how can I make the world a better place? How can I do something to improve the situation?
One of the most powerful pillars that our university upholds is the Torchbearers Creed. A lot of that has to do with what was taught in the class and servant leadership. You're not coming at it from an example of what can you do for me, it's what can I do for you. And that, to me, is one of the most powerful ways you can be an athlete, one of the most powerful ways you can be a force on your team and in your sport. And so the fact that that's something that our university cares so much about is something that we saw in a classroom setting and practice and then in another country was more powerful than I think any other university can do.